slides. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me go to. I thought I had the right. I thought I was ready, John. I got the wrong file opened up.
It's
So I was
all
like,
right,
where's
Mr. Ron.
the background? That's all plain. I had put some
Like
effort.
you tell me, you say you do the best you can.
I'm doing my best, John. I'm doing my best. Trust me, doing my best. I will go through our training with you. This is some of the training that we go to, but this is to make sure. This is where you instead of just holding you accountable, John, you got to do this and do it right. It's no. I make sure that you've got the skills first. It's like the budgeting. You make sure you got the skills first, then we hold you accountable. All right, now do it. Do it. Use it.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of way. So let me share. And so this is just to recommit. Are you able to see that screen?
I can. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And part of this is the healing piece is the crux. It's the foundation of our program. And I'll talk a little bit about why. We have all of our godparents. Anyone that works through our program has to go through this same training. Because I believe that we need to all be on the same page. And part of it is we found some tools that work.
Yes,
we found some tools that help people be able to do this work. And so it's not just you, it's everyone that's involved with our program goes through this. And we start with healing. And I start with the question about what if we could solve the part about healing. We know how to do housing. We know how to do food. We can help you with putting a roof over your head and food on the table. We don't do everything for you. You've got to come into our program with the ability to pay your way. We are a program that's not run by grant funding. So part of this is you and I and the landlords that we rent properties from, we work together. He creates a house that you can live in, a home that you can live in with dignity. And I think that we've done that by trying to really find places that are affordable enough for you to be able to afford that at your budget level.
Yes,
our budget level is relatively low. About $1,000 a month is about what you need. About $1,100 to $1,200 makes it comfortable if you don't have things like food stamps. But that's a relatively low budget by today's standards. But it's teamwork. It's us saying, if you're willing to do everything you can do, and we expect you to be doing everything you can, it's goodwill. Not out of obligation, but it's goodwill for us to help you do the things that you can't do on your own. Right now, one of those things is getting a lease. In Aiken specifically, most of the landlords require a 600 credit score, no eviction, 3 months on your job, and a job that pays 3 times the rent in wherever you're moving into. And for a lot of people, that's still very challenging. And coming out of crisis, that's still very challenging. Being able to have the deposit saved up and the first month's rent is challenging. And part of this has been the team effort, where someone was willing to say, he's doing everything he can. It's goodwill for us to help them. Salvation Army wasn't required to help you gather your deposit money together. But for us, we felt that that was goodwill. That is John doing everything he can? Is he getting up, going to work every day? Is he following the rules at the housing that he does have? Is he doing all of the things he can do? Yep, he's willing to walk to work in rain or shine. He's getting himself to work. He's getting up on time. He's taking care of those things that he can do to the best of his ability. And so part of this is about our program saying, how do we help people? Giving you a roof over your head and food on the table, we've realized is not enough to help you get to that place of life sustainability where you minimize the risk of going back into that spiral. Part of it is providing that sheltered environment and helping to make sure that you have the life skills necessary to be able to do life well. But some parts of the crisis that many of us cause in our life is us. So even if we got you at a job that's paying the bills and we got a roof over your head and food on the table, those basics, we realized at a very early time in developing this program that ain't enough. Because John will do things that will create more trauma and drama in John's life. And some of those things, even if you can afford to pay your rent, create that spiral of crisis where you're not living a life of stability. And what we realized was, well, what stops people from doing it? It's healing. It's the ego stuff that gets triggered just like addiction, and they behave in ways that add trauma and drama to their life. Have you seen some of that as we've kind of gone through this process?
Yes.
Am I speaking some truth that you can identify with, John? And so part of what this program says is that if we don't help coach people through healing, help them have the tools, just like we do budgeting, just like we talk about the other parts of balance in life, if we don't have that, then it's still good work, but it's not enough. But when you look at programs, oftentimes they avoid that, partly because it's hard. How do you help people heal? Most programs haven't spent as much time as I have in trying to figure out that piece. But when I started the work almost 25 years ago, at least 20, it's been over 20 years now, of how do we fix community, I realized you got to help people heal. That'll take them farther than anything else, because you can lose your housing tomorrow. If you got the right mindset, know how to speak your mind and set healthy boundaries, you can work yourself out of that situation. You can be content in the situation you find yourself in, and you understand that life happens and some things you can control and some things you can't, and you'd be able to keep yourself in the right frame of mind if you use the tools. I'm in the shelter. Oh, that's bad. It's triggering my ego. I'm feeling... Wait a minute, hold on. Should you feel guilty? Are you doing your best? Absolutely. Is this a resource that's there for you to use? Absolutely. Are you going to use it? Absolutely. It gives you the tools to be able to take any situation and come out of it okay. And so we started with what would happen if we help people heal first. Now, granted, you got to get a roof over your head and food on the table, because being able to do healing work is hard work. And having some life stability helps you to be able to have the emotional energy to do the hard work of healing. And so our program was created because the first thing we do is we put a roof over your head and make sure that you've got adequate budget to put food on the table. When you moved in, there's some starter groceries. So even first night in, if you needed to make some chicken soup or some something, you've got a few things to be able to do that. You've got some soap and a towel of your own, and clean sheets and linen on your bed. You've got space that feels safe, that you have control over. You've got keys where you can lock that door when you come and go and know that your things are safe and protected. You've bought a little bit of emotional peace of mind. And then we start the hard work. We start the work of healing. We start there. You notice we do healing before we do budgeting? Yep, you got to pay your bills, but we'll let you tough that out so that we can get the healing in place. The healing gives us the tools for being able to assess what you're doing and the things you have control of, and the things that you do, you have control of. We start with that reminder. We start with that teaching, and then we go through the steps with you. But the unsolvable problem for many programs is, how do we help people heal? And so today we're going to kind of go through what that progression has looked like for us. First of all, is there a problem, and what is the problem? We start with the realization that if I give love to someone and they don't respond in love, something's wrong with them. And I began to say, let's look at this problem and let's look at how we solve this problem. If I give love, love's supposed to come back. That's a value system.
Yep.
But what if I don't give love? Well, then something's wrong with me. You see, we start this process out with the fear, guilt, and insecurity, but we end it with, what's the antidote for that? Love.
Love. Mm-hmm.
It's you loving yourself. It's you being honest with yourself. And when you find things in you that are causing you trauma, that you are healing those areas so it don't keep causing you trauma.
You still there? Oh.
John, I'm doing my best.
That's all we can expect.
I swiped to the right. I was trying to get to the other slide. Swipe to the right. It was like, you have left. I leave. I'm the one leading. This how I get left out the room.
But like I was saying, it was like, writing down things and kind of going through it. And she said, John, you haven't been doing your shadow work. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, because if you were, because you're not letting that little child out. That little child in you is still, that person that you grew up and was bullied and teased and stuff still lives inside of you. It might be buried deep in there.
The hurt's still there. The damage is still there.
Yeah, when that incident happened, it comes up. And she's like, until you start working on that area, you're not letting that child free. That child wants to come out and wants to hug you. You need to hug that child. Yep.
So if you have to pretend like you're speaking to a child to be able to know how to have a loving conversation, use those tools. That last step is very important because that brings you from the place of operating through your fears, guilt, and insecurity to practicing living through love. What would happen if your conversations with yourself were honest and loving? What would happen? Would you stop being the source of your trauma in your life?
You stop building up that traumatizing way, and you'll be like, you know what? Okay, that was a mistake. It was a simple mistake. I made a mistake. We all human. We make mistakes. We go through things in our lives. It's not a big mistake. And stop living in our traumatizing way. Be like, oh man, if I could have done that better, if I didn't do that, this never would have happened. Or you gotta think of it like this. Our mind frame at that time was different. Our mind frame was different. We didn't know the things we know now. And if we say, oh yeah, we go back in the past and we change that, that would make it better, because we want to learn from it.
We think that if I could have, I should have, I would have, and we realize in this healing process, none of that is relevant.
No.
If you could have done it, you would have. Doesn't mean you didn't know to do right. You didn't have the capacity. Why? Because you were probably operating through your addiction.
Exactly.
You were operating through the results of the unhealed trauma. But it's not just us. That goes for others. My mother, she should have done differently. She should have done this by me. She was doing her best. If she could have, she would have.
That's
would have done all those things.
I've learned a lot these last few months since I first came into the program. And one thing I have to say, Mr. Ron, is I forgive my roommate and I still love her and everything. I know she put me through a lot.
Love's the antidote, John.
Yes.
But sometimes we can't get there because we're too busy operating in that state of addictedness.
Hello, this is John Aldridge, and today's date is March the 1st, and it's 1:44 p.m. I just want to say how much RePioneering Church has really benefited in my life since I moved in March 21st, 2023. Yes. To start off, I was staying in a homeless shelter, and it was almost close time for me to pretty much get out because they only give you like a 3-month period. And so, yes, I was looking, but I couldn't find nothing. And then at the last minute, I found this program, and I thought it would benefit for me. For one, they offer counseling, they offer all these different things to help a person grow who's coming from a homeless shelter to try to get back into civilization. And so, yeah, like I said, it has been in me for a lot. I learned to start working on my budget, work on my counseling, my feelings. And Miss Laurent, she has been a great success in my story. She has talked to me, kept in contact with me through Facebook, and really, show me that if it's not benefiting me, then I should avoid it at all costs. I mean, we all have a purpose in life, and we shouldn't let others take that away from us or take advantage of us. So, all I can say is I learned a lot, and I'm still growing. I'm learning to work on my issues instead of trying to keep them compacted inside, and learn to express the way I feel. Let's see, what else? I'm not really good at doing speeches, but I learned, the resources and stuff they always offer me. Every time I talk to her through video chat, I talk to her once or sometimes twice a week. She asked me how healthy I'm eating, take care of myself, do my doctor appointments, working on my budgeting, things that cause an issue in my life, things that benefit me from my life, how my family life going, my personal life, they have they have really helped to build my story. They help me to work and know that everything in my life and everything that I wish for and hope for can come true if you put hard work to it. And like I say, I have learned a great success being in this program. And also the Salvation Army, they have helped a lot too. I didn't want to forget about them. Like I say, I learned my budgeting. I've learned if it's causing insecurity, fearfulness, or insecurity, fearfulness, and worry. I think that's the third one. Then it's best, those are your red flags. And then, if John don't have the energy to deal with other people BS, I have a right to say no. I don't have to drop everything I had to do, like in the past, and tend to people's needs. If it's going to cause conflict in my life, or I don't have enough energy to deal with that, I don't have to. But yeah, like I said, I've learned a lot through this program. And they're always asking me, there's anything that, that us as a RePioneering Church can do to benefit you or to help you or to make your life any easier than it already is. And so, I thank Miss Laurent and RePioneering Church and Mr. Robert and the Salvation Army and just everybody in general, because at one time in my life, I thought, I was never going to get out the situation I was in. I was currently staying with my roommate. I moved in with her in Augusta in May the 21st. I think it was May 21st of 2018. And because I thought having a roommate would be a better situation for myself than living on my own. Well, I found out real fast that's not always the case. She was controlling me, taking advantage of my hospitality, and just using me for her own advantage. I couldn't, buy nothing. I couldn't, do nothing for myself. Everything went to bills. My storage got locked into her storage, and I'm still trying to figure a way to get those out. But yeah, she caused a lot of physical, mental damage in my life. And even though she was my best friend at one time, and I learned real fast that you can't always trust people, even people closest to you, even your own family or your friends. You can't always think that they're good people. I'm not saying she wasn't, because at times, her good side would come out, saying, she would get the shirt off her back, but she had a tendency of, switching sides. One minute she'll be kind and sweet, and the other time she'll be controlling. And I don't blame it all on her. I blame it on her family, who put that pressure on her. But yeah, there was times in that program. I mean, there's times living with her that, I just wanted to escape. I wanted to just disappear and never be found, because I felt so stressed out each and every day with her issues and family issues. And I mean, there's just, I could write a whole book about Lewis. But I still love her. And I love her son and everything. I hope they're doing well. But I had to think about myself. It's like I was always being the yes person. Okay, John, do this, drop what you're doing, and do this. And I would just do it. And I'm like, and I felt bad. I felt like a part of me was lost. Like I didn't have no rights to my own self. Like I felt like someone has taken over my body, even though they haven't physically. But it felt that way, that I had no rights. I mean, yeah, I could go to work and go to school and but I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't have no money. And part of me, I felt bad because I blame myself for the longest, because I let her have my card because I trusted her at the beginning. But then it's just like she took advantage of that. And, every time I wanted to do this, oh, well, we got bills. And, every time I wanted to move, oh, well, you can't move out, because if you move out, we got bills. You're going to leave me with all these bills and this and that. Or what if something happened to my son and me when you leave? And it's like they was using me as, I guess you could say, property or something. Like, I didn't belong to myself no more. I felt like I belonged to them. And I was objected to follow that. And I would hide how I truly feel around other people. There was times I would smile, but even though I was smiling, I was feeling pain inside. I would be caffeinated on iced coffees and soda or whatever I can get my hands on, to feel some kind of happiness, or use other drugs of choice to feel happy. And I learned that through this program, that sometimes, I still do. And it's not because me living with my ex-roommate, it's because of other situations, stress at work, family issues, whatever the issue may be. And, sometimes we have to stop using those drugs of choice and use healthier version of instead of letting everything ball inside, express how you feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sad and depressed, but not to stay in that position for so long. But like I said, Miss LaRon has helped me out tremendously. She's always been a backbone in my life, and she's really just been a great resource, and I love her like family. And I just thank them for everything, and everything's going smoothly still. I'm paying my rent on time, doing my homework assignments, taking care of myself, trying to eat healthier, trying to get better at eating healthy, working on the habits and goals and stuff I need in my life to better my life. There's just a lot I'm working on, and I just thank them for so much. And like I said, I love them to death. Well, y'all have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.